into Madness plays Deadlight. Journey with us to the green orchard where madness tastes as sweet as the fruit that grows there. Do you dare take a bite?
Hello, my dear cultists, and welcome to the third episode of Descent into Madness Plays Deadlight. We reopen our grimoire to see a horrid scene in front of us. Our dear professor and his students have simply gone on a little bit of a detour that's led to, in some ways, cluster. But for them, they have seen many people die by the way of the deadlight. A glowing, ominous mass that seems to consume everything that it touches. All you see is Sam and Jake burning alive from the inside out. And though they tried to keep themselves together, they seem to be running through the woods, heading towards the cottage with dear Amelia and Mary.
Well, the car's destroyed.
Take this map and walk back to Dr. Webb's residence.
We should keep moving. We don't have time for this.
We join them as they make their way through, navigating through these large, dark, and tall pines, only to find the trail itself that leads to the cottage.
Where are we even going, Mary?
I believe that if we just keep heading east, we should be able to get upon the cottage. As Mary points this out, two very large, muscular arms reach around from behind a tree and grab her by her throat and by covering her mouth. Join us back as our dear professor, Amelia, and our students witness this sight. You all have made it to this trail, and Mary and Amelia have pointed this out, that this is the trail that would lead to the cottage. And as this happens, all of a sudden, as Mary points this out from behind a tree, you see a shadowy-like figure grab her, covering her mouth, and almost by her throat in a sort of way, and starts to drag her behind a tree. What would you all like to do? You start to hear muffles and screams. So I'm going to start doing this, and you decide what you want to do.
We all need to attack
Let's
it
get
once.
out of here.
I'm an old man, but I want to go I'm going to try to grab Mary and pull her back.
All of us need to attack it once if we want to succeed, or otherwise it's going to come back and kill us.
Fine.
Yes.
How do you want to do that?
Just all jump the guy.
Who wants to jump the person?
I think you should do it.
I'll do
That's
it.
your idea.
Sterling. Okay.
You're right.
And I'll grab Mary.
I'm going to say you both react in the moment, and you both start to leap at whatever this figure is that's grabbed Mary. And what I need from both of you all is I need you to give me fighting brawl, please.
Right.
As you do, this figure grabs Mary, pulls it behind the tree, and you both move around the tree quickly. Who succeeded? Did we both succeed?
I got 40 over 25.
Okay, so you did not.
And I got 54 over 25.
Okay, so you both did not.
I got 6, which is an extreme success.
So you two,
I would like to push to my luck.
you want to try to push it?
No,
Or spend luck?
I'd like to spend luck so we succeed.
Oh.
Okay, so go ahead and spend your luck points. Make sure you have your correct value now for what your luck is.
Should I push?
I mean, we have 2 successes. I think that's enough, yeah?
I'll let you decide.
All right. I'm letting it be. If I fall in the mud, I fall in the mud.
You try to move around the tree and maneuver, and you catch your foot on a branch and you kind of fall into the mud. You two make your way around the tree, and you see what looks to be a very large gentleman. He's mostly clean shaven, a little bit of stubble, and a wild-eyed look as he has Mary pinned against the tree. Both hands are starting to grab around her throat. But he's so caught off guard by you two moving around here. Are you tackling him? What are you doing as you move around this tree to stop whatever he's doing?
Getting in between them to separate them first, right?
So you want to get in between.
I'll grab him and pull him off of her.
Okay, he failed really badly, so you guys catch him off guard that the strength of both of you all, I mean, you're young, strapping gentlemen, right? You should be able to take on anyone if there's a greater number. You both push into the gentleman, and he gets so caught off guard that he slips in the mud and falls onto the ground itself. And he's just angrily looking at Mary and then looking at all of you. And he goes, you stupid bitch! You led us to a trap that could have killed us. That thing is out there. It is killing people more and more and more. And you were trying to get us killed. Clem is dead. He is dead. I cannot believe we listened to you. And Mary is in shock. She's obviously had a grown man try to choke her. And she's trying to catch her breath. Who are you? I don't know who you are. I want to stop him, tie him up, something. And this man on the ground just goes, you have to listen to me. You have to listen to me. You cannot trust her at all. That thing is coming after all of us. It will kill us. I don't know what it is. This was no type of robbery. This was a setup. This was set up by her. She's a snake in the grass.
Why do you believe that?
What are you talking about?
Can you all give me spot hidden rolls, please?
44 out of 55.
So regular success.
17 out of 65.
60 out of 25.
Failed. You both regular succeeded. Okay. As he keeps going on and on about this attempt, this whatever it is that's going on, you start to see Mary reach into her purse that she has, and you start to see what you remember as a .22 revolver. As she quickly pulls it out and points it at Billy, almost in shock and terror, as she goes, If you are not going to stop this man who just tried to kill me, I'll just do it myself. And she holds this .22 revolver pointed straight at Billy. What would you both like to do?
Trying to definitely talk sense through. We did get the guy off of her, so we're not doing nothing. Just hear the man out.
What do you want to do?
All he's doing is talking, and seems like he could have a good point.
Are you trying to persuade her?
Yes.
Okay. If you're both trying to persuade, I need you both to roll persuade, please.
No. 63 over 20.
Okay.
14 out of 75, so extreme success.
Hearing you trying to persuade her, she definitely clicks the hammer back in this Derringer, but then hearing you, she starts to lower the gun a little bit. She goes, you have to stop him. You have to stop. I don't know who this man is. I do not know who this is. And the other person goes, Mary, you know who I am. Stop lying to them. It's me, Billy. You were the one that set up this stupid robbery. You tricked us all. What is wrong with you? What are you telling them? And Billy's going to do something. He sits there and a bolt of lightning happens out of nowhere. And as a bolt of lightning happens, his face begins to go white. It goes paler than white. And he goes, oh my God. He's looking behind you all as this lightning strikes. And he goes, it's here. And he gets up and he starts to he books it almost into the woods. He just starts running into the dark pines. And even if you could react, he moves so quickly that there's no way you could keep up with him. And you were standing there with Mary and Amelia. Amelia looks shocked beyond belief, and Mary stands there with a Derringer in her hand, still shaking from this encounter.
I don't trust this woman with a gun. It's
That's what I have to say.
Wait, what do you mean you don't trust me? I told you, I don't know who that person is.
He seems to know who you are.
I'm telling you, I have never seen this man before in my life.
Then why does he know you?
And why did you feel like you needed to bring a weapon?
Can you all give me... Try to think here. If you have psychology, you can do psychology if you want. You can use persuade if you have it. If you would like, you can see as she talks to you about this person. I will allow you to use education, but it needs to be under a hard. So your middle value on your sheet, if you decide to use it.
Ooh, I got a 5 out of 40.
That's an extreme. What about you?
52 out of 75 for persuade.
Okay, so you definitely succeed as
I'm
well.
using a knowledge roll, and my middle value is 34. I rolled 33.
She's lying. She's lying. Lying. Why was she wanting to go with you all? Why did she have to walk through these woods? You hear the voice of reason inside of your head as it speaks to you. It tells you there's no way that someone like this would take a gun with them and simply do this for someone's well-being. You begin to question things. How well does she know Emilio? What the hell is actually going on here? And Mary begins to see the doubt build into your eyes. You start to see her raise the gun up at all of you. You don't understand a damn thing. You don't understand a damn thing. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. And she starts to run off into the woods. What would you all like to do?
Well, if we follow her, she's just gonna shoot us.
Exactly.
I'm gonna lunge for the gun.
You want to chase after her and lunge for the gun? Okay. Can you give me a dexterity roll, please? She's going to try to stop that from happening.
Hey, I rolled a 15.
Okay, so you've got a hard success. Let's see what Mary rolls. As you do, you make a shuffle towards her, and even though you had that moment earlier, that little bit of pratfall, you feel almost a new vigor within yourself, and you chase after her, and you're on her in seconds because she's caught a foot onto a tree branch and starts to fall over, and the gun basically clatters along the forest floor. As what are you trying? Are you trying to grab her, or how are you doing
I was
this?
running. I was trying to grab for the gun itself.
Okay, so because of this fall she's gone through, she fumbled. She's fallen so badly that she has hit her head on the ground, and the gun just clatters off into the dark of the forest. She's gonna do a Constitution roll, because she did hit her head. And she's still coherent, even as she falls and hits her head onto the ground. She just sits there with a look of fear in her face as she, I swear to you, it's not what you think, okay? I didn't know that any of this was going to happen. I don't know what happened. Just please don't hurt me.
Mary! Mary! I don't know what to do with you.
Can you just tell us, how do we get out of this alive?
I don't know how to get out of this alive.
What do you know then? Who are you? Why do you seem to know so much?
I sent them up to the cottage to merely just rob the old man of his cash. That's all I did. Is I just sent them up there. I told them that it would be an easy robbery. Just go up there, go get the cash, and meet me back at the diner, and we will just run. We'll run as fast as we can before anybody caught on. But when you all came into the diner with Amelia, I knew something was wrong, because Clem and Billy had never came back. and I don't know what happened up at that cottage. I really don't. I've only been at the diner all night.
It's just the three of you, or is Amelia in on it too?
No, Amelia is his granddaughter. You start to see her words begin to kind of fumble, because as you read her facial expressions, you can almost assume that she didn't expect Amelia to be alive. She almost has a pensive look, and then she kind of brings it back and goes, "It was merely just supposed to be a robbery. That's all it was."
A liar and a thief. I can't believe it.
We got big enough problems as it is, Professor. I say we keep going and leave her in the woods. Can't trust a thief.
You're right.
Amelia walks up behind you all, and even in her tattered clothing, she looks at Mary, and she's gonna roll something. No. She just walks up behind you all, and she goes, "That sounds like a great idea. We need to get to the cottage. We need to find out what happened to my grandfather."
Let's go.
Just leave her here.
Anything we can tie her up with before we leave?
Honestly, I think the light will do the job for us. Just don't let her near us.
As you say that, Mary has been shuffling kind of in a way to where she's getting away from you all, and she gets to jump on all of you. And she runs faster than you can even comprehend. And she is gone out of your sight in an instant. And you're standing there, just the four of you.
Did you grab the gun, Professor?
Well, it went off into the darkness. Maybe I can search around for it and find it here.
Come on, Timothy, let's
Can
help.
you give me a spot hidden roll, please?
Just look around.
May we all look
I'll
around?
just look around for a
You
second.
can. I hate to say it because it is dark woods. I'm gonna have to give you guys penalty dice if you're looking in the dark. So if you can, please re-roll your 10's value. Please re-roll it again and take the worst of your rolls, please.
So we roll a 10.
Yeah, re-roll the
that's
10's.
good.
Yeah,
Okay, that'll do it.
you're shuffling through the dark. What was your worst value?
91. That's my word.
Okay.
58.
58.
71.
71. Okay. Yeah, you guys look around. You're fumbling through the dark of the trees, and just you can't find this weapon.
Let's go. Let's just go to the cabin. All right?
Fine.
I'm with you. It's no time like the present.
Amelia holds out her hand, and she goes, "Professor, now that we've found the trail, I should be able to lead you guys to the house. We don't need Mary. We just need to walk up this way, and we'll be right at the cottage."
Are you sure you don't need a hand up? You've been through a lot.
She still looks a little pensive, and there's a little bit of stutter in her voice, but she does look a little better from what she was when you first ran into her. And she goes, no, I should be fine. Just let's get out there. We have to find out what happened to my grandfather.
Lead the way.
Amelia takes you all, and you begin to do the long walk up the pathway to the cottage itself. The trees are just as ominous, the forest is just as quiet, and the storm still seems to rage on, but it appears to have kind of died down just a smidge, maybe. As you make your way up to what appears to be a cottage, it legitimately does look like a cottage. It's about one story from what you can tell. It's very well-defined wood. It's almost white painted wood on the outside of it, but it has hints of blue around it towards the trimmings and the edges. The lawn, it's not very well kept. And off to the left, you see what looks like a very small built carport where the door of it is slightly ajar, and you can kind of what makes out to be like a very fancy Plymouth car. And as you all walk up to this cottage, you see that the front door is slightly agape. And because of the wind, it appears to almost like a shutter is just closing and opening, closing and opening. As you're all standing there in front of the house, we get spot hidden rolls again, please.
97.
Okay.
19 out of 65.
Okay.
I also rolled a 97.
Okay.
Nice.
You were the only one that sees this. Mr. Winters, as you all start to walk up to the house, even with the mud and everything, your foot almost hits something. It's weird. And as you look down onto the ground, as you're getting closer to the cottage itself, you see what looks to be a crowbar laying on the ground. And as you pick it up, start to look at this crowbar, you start to see what looks to be a little bit of blood on it.
Professor, look at this. How fresh do you think this blood is?
By the looks of it, it could only be an hour or so old. I would assume, unless I need to roll to ensure.
I will say that, per your knowledge of anything, you've studied corpses and whatnot with Egyptology, you can assume that this blood is relatively fresh. And actually, do give me an education roll, please.
13 out of 13 for a critical win, or critical.
Okay, so you do. You have an extreme success. As you look at the crowbar itself, you can generally assume that this must have been what was used to break into the house. That's why the door is like that, just kind of still hitting it back and forth. But then you also think to yourself, the way the blood is on it, and then you look over at Amelia and that bruise that she's had on her
See, it all
head.
makes sense. They used this to break in, and she probably got annoyed and they clobbered her on the noggin.
Amelia looks at you and is just kind of a little bit of shock, and she goes, yeah, that makes sense.
Is this the last thing you saw before you went out, Amelia?
I believe so. And then there was just the bright light. That's all I can remember.
Better hold on to it for safekeeping. Since I found it, I figure I should hold on to the crowbar as the strongest one, most capable.
Trust your intent,
Go for it.
Master Winters.
Thank you, Professor. I appreciate your trust.
So you're standing in front of the cottage. What would you like to do?
I think we all have to go in here. Actually, Amelia, she should lead us. No?
Well, she's an injured and frail woman. I don't know if she should be up front.
It's fine. We need to go and see about my grandfather, please. And she starts to make her way up to the door and pushes it open and starts to enter.
I think we should go in as a group. I don't fully trust her. I don't trust anybody anymore.
Is anybody following her?
Yes.
I'll follow.
Okay. I'm going to say Sterling, you were right behind her. Butterford, you were behind Sterling. Professor, you see them enter. Are you following behind them?
I'm bringing up the rear.
Okay. As you do, you start to see Amelia look around, and she kind of calls out to her grandfather. Grandfather, are you here? Hello? And she starts to make her way through. The way that this is pretty much set up is that you're in the front atrium area, and as you step forward, there's a door immediately to your right, and then across the way, you can see a couple of doors, a little slimmer of a door, and you almost see a light, a little bit of a light, almost candlelight looking from that. But the rest of the house is dark, pitch black dark. And Sterling, as you and Amelia are kind of almost walking side by side, you notice the living room door looks like as if it's been kicked in, and you start to step into what is the living room area. And as you do, you see what looks to be two figures laying on the ground. As Amelia screams out, "Grandfather!" And she runs towards one of the figures laying on the ground. As you get closer, Butterford, you start to walk in and see this as well too. You notice these two figures on the ground as well. Professor, you notice a light coming from a room across the hallway itself. As you see them walk into this room off to the side. Something about that room draws you. You don't know why.
I think I'll quietly leave the group and explore across the hall.
You explore across the hall, and as you do, you feel a door handle, and as you turn the door handle, you open to what you would appear to be your old friend's study. There's a small candle light that is still burning on top of the desk itself, and a little push-down drawer desk that appears to have a lock on it. And you also see some medical journals, as well as what possibly might have been his desk chair or whatever, some text and whatnot of various medical reasonings, but then you notice cult books about the afterlife, of death, of being able to handle the realm between us and the afterlife. And there's even some biblical works that are amongst some of the things that are on the shelf itself. And as you stand there, you are literally standing in the mind of your old friend. But as we cut back to the living room, you both witness a horrific sight. You see a very old man laid up against a couch that Amelia is calling her grandfather. He is obviously dead. His shoulder looks as if it's been blown open by a firearm, which you quickly assume is why there's a shotgun laying on the ground near him. A shell looks to be spent from it. Another thing that you notice is a very tiny little ornate coffin. It's made of iron or steel or whatever it could be. Is laying on the ground near the fireplace. The sight that catches you the worst of all is the other body. Well, it looks like a body. It looks as if half of it is missing, burnt, almost a husk of itself. Skin is twisted and nodding, and as you stand there and you see how he is as shriveled as possible, his eyes are agape and wide, his mouth is open in a pure maw as it stares up towards the roof itself, and you see as if there is literally no irises. His eyes are just pure white at this point. I need you both to give me sanity rolls, please.
$44 out of 67.
Okay, so you will take 1 point of sanity. How much sanity have you lost, Mr. Winters?
Oh, no, 44 out of 64, so now I'm at 65.
Okay, so I hate to say it, but we're going to discuss something in a minute. What about you, Mr. Rutherford?
47 out of, I'm currently at 44.
Okay, so you have failed as well, too. Okay, well, let's see here. Now, as keepers, you can decide what you would like to for sanity costs. For me, I tried to keep it as specific as humanly possible. So for this, I'm going to need to do a D5 roll, which is going to be already bad, I can tell. You will both lose 3 points of sanity. And Mr. Winters, you will go into your first temporary bout of sanity.
Okay.
So let's see what happens. Number 2. Perfect. Why are you on this trip? Why are you standing here with these people? Why couldn't we have just gone to Boston? You're Sterling Winters. You have an expectation to avail to, even to your own family. You feel robbed of what should have been a simple trip to Boston because your stupid professor just had to make this pit stop. And that's how you feel. Mr. Butterfly, you have already had a bout. Okay. Mr. Butterford, you are so taken back by this that you almost fall over onto your backside, and you start to shudder and shake, and you have forgotten the last 3 hours as you stand there with a blank stare looking around at everyone near you.
Let's see if there's any more ammo in that shotgun. I guess we might need it for later.
What shotgun? What do you...
Get back to me, Timothy. Come on, there's people dead on the floor here. I can't be the only one here. Can't trust the professor anymore.
Why? Where? What do you mean?
You're useless. I want to check the shotgun and see if there's anything in it.
The shotgun itself has one spent shell, but there is another shell that's in the barrel. It's a double-barreled shotgun. So the other one does look like you can use it.
All right. Well, we'll take this shotgun. I hate having both the shotgun and the crowbar, but I can't trust you with your dull-eyed face to be taking care of anything here. Amelia's taking care of her grandfather. Maybe I should go off on my own.
What about you, Miss Flipper?
Where is the professor? What happened?
He's in the other room. Go join him, and I'll see if I can make any sense of what's going on over here.
Pause as we go back into the study itself, and you're staring at the desk of your old friend. What would you like to do?
I need to get inside of that roll-top desk. It's locked.
Yeah, it appears locked.
Seen all the books. Maybe there's a key on my old colleague's person, or I could get... Maybe if I took the crowbar, I could pry it open. So I'm gonna go back into the room with everyone else and either look for a key or...
What I'll let you do is can you actually do an education roll for me, while you're still standing in the study itself?
Great. Medium success.
Okay, so that hard success, which is great. You're standing there in the study by yourself and staring at this roll-top desk, and you think, yeah, he's got to have a key around here and know him. And you look over at the books of various knowledge and the occult and everything, and you start to see what looks to be like a tiny little bust of Hippolytes. I apologize if I get this wrong, but of the Hippocratic Oath, and it looks like it's been moved a lot. And you can clearly see the little bit of dust, so you would think maybe he's moved this quite a bit. And you go and you pick it up, and as you look at the bottom of it, you see a key that's underneath it. And you go over to the desk and you put the key in, and it very easily opens, and the desk slides. As you slide it open and you start to look at the desk contents itself, you see some medical papers that have no knowledge, but what you also see is a very large leather journal with your friend's name written, embroidered on the title of it.
I'm gonna pop that puppy right open.
That's perfect. Give me one second. You begin to look at this journal. You start to skim it. It is a diary of your friend. He talks about various things in his life. He talks about his granddaughter who he loves dearly, and that soon she'll be living with him. And per the dates, you can kind of assume that his granddaughter will be living with him starting like what would have been 3 or 4 months ago. So very recently, she has started to live with him. But then there almost seems to be a separate part of the journal. It seems to have its own bookmark, earmark to it. And as you get to one page, it reads this: the useful, if unorthodox resident of the casket, our sin eater, is, as far as I can ascertain, no creature currently known to science. Where it came from and when I do not know, nor did my predecessors, my former family members, from whom I inherited it from, though it is undoubtedly many centuries old, if not more. Its uses have been many over the years, although it has predominantly been employed to rid certain local, socially conscious families of unwanted offspring, be they the result of centuries of inbreeding, unfortunate accidents, or other unwholesome activities. The legality of this creature's use is debatable. Its efficiency is not. Even in such cases where death by other means proved intractable, my conscience in this matter and that of those who came before me is clear. For many of the children, given their deformities or other less obvious abnormalities, as for the rest, the Lord does not suffer such blasphemies to live. You turn the page, you look at some other parts of it. As in all things, safety first. Should the Sin Eater escape its confines, then the only way to recall it is to provide it with a suitably prepared patient, such that it becomes satiated and lethargic and willingly returns to its coffer. Inscribe the spiral mark shown in blood, preferably the patient's, but not essential, on the patient's forehead. The patient does not need to be a child, but it must be human and naturally alive at the point of contact. Experiments with animals and corpses carried out by my antecedents were apparently most unsatisfactory. If the patient is conscious, then they will need to be suitably restrained. Once all preparations are complete, perform the recantation as phonetically transcribed below and permit the Sin Eater to perform its duties, often which it will return to its casket. Once it is within, close the lid and seal it immediately with a liberal application of the aromatic wax ointment. You see a vial on the desk as you read this that looks like there's a waxy substance in it. The next page looks to be a little battered and some parts of it have been torn, but there's a symbol, which per the previous page, you would assume this is the symbol that it's referring to. And underneath it scribbled is Ia, Heshme Keshmene, Sashmisef Kaise Benisin, Nakanu Tishne Sishniam. Written underneath it, a little down the ways. I was taught the Sin Eater can be summoned and directed to seek out a person at some distance. If the correct phraseology from above is used, this being subtly different to the procedure previously noted, requiring modification to the symbol pattern and phrasing. I detail this below, but warn, and the page is torn, as if somebody had ripped it and taken it out of your journal itself. The last bit, you see a page of numbers. There's some staining, and some of it even looks like blood on it. The numbers that are written on here are different values, almost dating back to 1879. There's a letter next to each date. And as you think about Godfrey Webb's family, you start to ascertain these must be the names of former family members of his. And then you look at the numbers, and you look at the journal entries of these procedures that he's performed, of removing these children with the Sin Eater. And you begin to realize that the family has been doing this since 1879. It started off with 220 procedures, and then 335, 650, 430, 685, 840, 1,100, 1650, 1350, 2,050, 2,745, 2,760, 3,000, 4,100, 4,500. And then the last one are the initials of your friends. 1919, 1,500 procedures were performed. I need you to give me a sanity roll, please.
You did fine. I rolled a 31.
Okay. Reading these pages, and as you continue to look at them, things begin to click in your head. When he would come to visit you for business trips in Arkham after his departure, you began to think back to those times that you were never allowed to come visit him. He would always seem to be out and about and working late at night. And you realize that whatever this thing is, the Sin Eater that he's been using, he has been performing abortions with it, and also killing live children with supposed abnormalities of socially conscious families in Arkham. In total, his family has performed at least 15,000 procedures since 1879, give or take.
He was a monster. This is what the university found out about. There's a sin eater roaming out there. We must find it.
Can you give me an education roll, please?
Hard success. 18.
It doesn't take much to figure that whatever the sin eater he's referring to is probably the same thing that has been attacking you on and off again all night. I will let you keep these. Do with them as you will. One last thing. As you look at the back of the journal itself, you see an inscription. And the inscription reads, "May God have mercy upon the physician." And we will stop, pause there, and go back to living room where you two are standing. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna stumble through the hallway towards where the professor was.
Okay. You see a door open with the light coming from it. As you do, you walk into the doorway and see your professor with a journal in his hands.
Professor, what's happening? How did we get here? We were in the car headed to the competition, and now there's bodies out here, and what's that? What do you have?
Timothy, you're battled. But this is the truth. This is what's been attacking this town. Dr. Webb, he found something that hungered for the lives of young and unborn. And now it takes everyone. We have to stop it. He's given us instructions on how to contain it. And that's what we must do.
What do we have to do?
I need a coffin, and I need a sacrifice.
What kind of sacrifice? Does it specify?
It's a human. It needs human blood. I could read you all this, but the only way to seal it in the casket is liberal application of that ointment, a sacrifice, and this symbol.
As you all stand there, regardless of where you stand in the cottage, off in the distance, you hear the sounds of screams, one of a male and one of a female, as a bright light begins to move through the woods. It starts to move faster and faster. You are both standing in the study and don't see it, but you, Mr. Winters, do see it. Whatever it is consumed has done it quickly, and you can see it moving through the trees faster and faster back towards the house. What are you doing?
Amelia, we gotta get out of here.
Amelia is crying, holding on to her grandfather. I can't leave the
I try and grab Amelia, not forcefully, but to convince her. Grab her by the arm.
Okay, give me a strength roll.
66 out
Roll
of...
your 10s for me, please.
Say again?
Reroll your 10s for me.
Okay. 76 out of 65.
Okay, so you failed, but maybe you can't forcefully do it, but you managed to at least get her back up on her feet, and you try to move her. You're trying to move her to the door. Which door exactly? Because this light is coming towards the front door of the house. It's at least 100 yards, but it's coming towards you.
Okay. And the professor and Timothy are by the front door towards...
Nope, they're back.
They're back?
Back of the house towards the study.
Okay, great. Then I move towards their general area. I call out to them. Timothy, Professor, we gotta go. The light's coming for us. We gotta move now.
Let's go.
Let me grab these things real quick.
Maybe there's an upper floor we can go to, somewhere where the light can't get us.
There are no stairs.
No stairs. Is there a back door out of the house we can run?
Amelia begins to say, not a back door, but my grandfather's room is right there, part of the study. We can maybe go out through the back window if need be.
Or a basement?
Yeah, there's a basement.
Maybe the basement. We could seal the basement, the light wouldn't be able to get in.
Yes, let's go.
Sure.
You all begin to move towards. Amelia tries to get you all to the basement itself. She opens the door and it's a little bit of stairs. It's not a big basement. It's this type of house. There's stone walls to it, but underneath it you can see this very large generator that's underneath the house itself, and it just sits there quiet, clearly not powered on. As I'm assuming you try to close the door behind you. Okay, so you all go into the basement and close the door behind you, and you are standing there in almost pitch-like darkness.
Now what?
Well, don't look at me, I got us this far. You come up with something.
They're in no state to help. Amelia, we have to restrain her.
Amelia looks at you in a panic. What do you mean restrain me?
Yeah, what do you mean restrain, Professor?
She starts to look pensive at you, Professor.
There's only one way to get rid of this monstrosity. We have to have a sacrifice. We have outlined it in these pages. I've poured over all his contents and his ramblings. And if there's any way to do it, this is what we have to try.
It needs a human sacrifice? That's what you have to do instead of all this?
It's eaten for centuries. Unless you want to sacrifice me.
How old are you?
Old enough.
How old are you?
60. 60 years old.
You're 60?
He's lived a decent life.
Start to smell burning.
Whatever we do, we need to do it fast.
It's coming. Tie me up. You have to be the one to recite this.
Me?
Yes. There's a symbol you have to put on my forehead. This is the only way out. I'm begging you to do it.
Did anybody grab a coffin? Can you both give me a luck roll, please? My students, not
A luck roll?
Yeah.
23 out of 50.
89 out of 65.
You do. You have the coffin.
Amazing.
You managed to. You think that it's probably. You thought maybe I could maybe sell this at some point, so you grab it. But as you grab it, and even as you held it for the time that you did, you smell a familiar smell. A horrible smell. It's just something you can't place, and you have to close the coffin in order for you to not smell it anymore. And you do. You take out this from underneath your suit jacket. You're able to keep it, but this metal coffin that you hold out to your professor.
Is this any help?
Yes.
And you sure you want to sacrifice yourself?
Maybe this way I can join my old friend in the afterlife. And you can get back safely.
Amelia looks shocked at you as she goes, "Are you sure this thing, how do you know this will even work?"
We don't. But it's worth a gamble.
All right,
You've got to try.
I guess so. But if it doesn't work, who else do we look to for an answer?
So let me ask this, how do you want to carve the symbol on you?
We should use
I will say,
blood.
per the journal, it needs to be of your blood.
We have a crowbar.
I mean, maybe we just break a window and take some glass and
I don't want to break a window and let that light in here.
Give me luck rolls, both of you. Okay.
62 out of 65.
83.
Timothy keeps a Swiss Army knife on you, right?
Yeah. I've got a knife. I'll cut his hand, take some of the blood, and make the symbol.
There you are. And then tie me up. It said I have to be restrained.
Does it say how we need to sacrifice you?
Well, let's go back over the notes.
If you look at the symbol page, there is essentially some words that need to be spoken phonetically underneath it. It starts with the E-A.
Winters. When the time comes to speak this, I trust that your vernaculars appropriately.
Butterford, seeing as you cut into a man's hand and you've drawn a symbol of blood on his forehead, I'm gonna need a sanity roll, please. And Sterling, I'm gonna need a sanity roll as well too. This is a lot.
82.
17 out of 62.
So you are fine. You will not lose a point of sanity. You, however, are. How do you truly feel about this?
Disgusted and unsure if it's even worth, if we survive, if it's even worth doing this.
Do you feel like this is the right way to sacrifice a man?
I believe everyone deserves a dignity in death, and this is not that.
Mr. Butterford, because you're committing such an act towards another human being, I'm going to make a roll. This is for your sanity. If I roll under 50, you will remain sane. If not, we will see what happens. Mr. Butterford, as you commit this act and you paint this symbol upon your professor's head, it's just too much.
You feel lost in yourself.
You drop the knife and you start to run up the stairs, through the door of the basement, and across the hallway, regardless of seeing this light that's glowing moving through it. You make your way to the bedroom, throw open the window, you jump out, and run into the woods, running and running and running, regardless of what's going on behind you. You never stop.
We cut back to our professor and Sterling as you stand there, as you see your colleague run away from you.
What the hell was that about? We should have killed him instead.
Timothy wasn't strong enough.
Clearly not.
You start to see a light glowing from the hallway.
It's time. When it's in here, you have to chant.
When it's in here? When it's about to... Okay.
Amelia begins to kind of look at you both and she goes, "Are you really about to do this?"
Yes.
It means the safety of even one soul, it's worth it. Somebody still has to tie me up.
Alright, I'll tie you up.
You tie him up very easily.
Alright, the symbol is on you. It's in your own blood. I have the coffin ready. I guess I have to wait for the light to get in, and then I'll say the chant, yeah? And then I'll... does it say how I have to kill you? Do I hit you with this crowbar? Do I blast you with this shotgun?
The light begins to pour into the basement as you feel it grow brighter and brighter.
Okay.
As it's at the doorway now.
Okay. Ia. Hej makash mene. Sak misef kayesi wenezen. Nakan wetesh ni sej naima. I blast him with the shotgun.
You shoot the professor.
Yes. As per the sacrifice. With the coffin prepared.
Okay. Can you give me a firearms roll, please?
46 out of 20.
So you try to fire, but your hand kind of slips because you're in shock and fear. The round goes past, but as you say the words, and your professor is standing there at the bottom of the stairwell. The light comes down and down and down and down. As the words are said, you start to see it enter into the body of Professor Hubert. As it happens, you see the same thing from before, where it appears his eyes start to glow. The light almost disappears inside of him. He starts to scream out in pain as he begins to burn and burn and burn in front of you, but almost as if he is set aflame by blue light. And then, pure ash. As you see a small blue light emanate from the ash and go over to the coffin that lays at your feet and enter inside of it. You close the coffin as quickly as you can in a panic per your professor's orders. You reseal it with the wax. I need you to give me one last sanity roll, please.
76 out of 62.
Amelia is going to roll as well too. She fares a little better. You have seen a being unknown to this world, so I'm going to have to roll heavy for this. Yeah. You lose 8 points of sanity. As you close the coffin and seal it with wax, you still feel robbed. You feel robbed of this. This shouldn't have happened. This should have been a simple trip to Boston. And you stand there and begin to mutter and talk to yourself. And Amelia tries to shake you and tries to get you to do anything. As we focus on the cottage the very next day, the police are called to the Green Apple gas station and diner that has been set ablaze and fire that had been seen by 3 counties. But soon, what ends up happening is that the police follow a trail of footprints all the way up to a cottage, where sitting in the living room is a man holding an iron coffin, saying, "Why did this have to happen to my professor? Why?" As Amelia looks upon him, trying to comfort him as best as humanly possible, he just keeps saying, "It should have just been a simple trip to Boston." As for Mr. Butterford, you keep running through the woods as fast as humanly possible until you hit roadway again. And you see a car, a little Ford Jalopy, gold embroidered on the side of it. It says Miskatonic University. It squeals to a stop, seeing you running alongside the road as if you can't stop. And you hear a voice call out to you. Butterford, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you running for?
They're all dead. I don't know. It was too much. It was too much. I just have to keep. I can't stop. It's coming.
He tries to comfort you as best as humanly possible, and you try to steal your nerve as you can, and eventually they manage to get you into the car itself, and you start to head off into the distance, into the sunlight. But something feels fine now, almost as if the storm has abated itself. And you start to roll with the professor and go through and through and through. And then all of a sudden, the car engine stops. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Deadlight, written by our fabulous friends over at Chaosium. And this is the very first episode of Descent into Madness. Thank you for enjoying this offering by the gods themselves. And I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure that you give us a follow on all our socials and make sure that you join our cult itself. I want to give special thanks to Chaosium once again for creating such an amazing gaming system for me to be able to display. And last but not least, thank you for these willing sacrifices that joined me today. If you can you all introduce yourselves, and if you have any social media that you would like to talk about.
I am Jean at officially Jean Dottie, actor, improviser, and educator teaching at the supermarket. Thank you.
I'm Rain. You can follow me on Instagram at The Rainy Days with 2 N's.
I'm Daleks Miller as Professor Hugo Edison Firstberger. Follow me at Daleks_casting on the gram.
Maybe this might not be the end of Mr. Butterford. Maybe we will see him again. But for sure we will. As the next time, Descent into Madness dives into the Saturnine Chalice. Thank you again, and be careful what you see. Bye-bye.